Okay, today everybody, I'm gonna walk y'all through how I got this image to look the way it looks. Here are my edits. This is the general image. This is my raw image that I started with. It does have a little crop on it, but my first thing I did, I went in, hashtag engaged. Okay, Kate, come on, Drew. But this is the first thing that I did. I went in here and did some light adjustments with her hair. It was a windy day, overcast. We had some weather coming in. This is post-proposal, so I just went in and removed some flyaways. And then I did touch up her makeup a little as well, but we don't have to get into that. Okay, so then I come over here to my general adjustments, and I pulled out my highlights just a little. It was an overcast day, so there wasn't a ton of like harsh light. This was shot around 2 p.m., 2:30-ish. I bump up my shadows just a little, and I go in and play with my whites just a tad. I have to be careful here with my whites because I don't want to blow her top out. You want in a photo your whitest white to be white, and you want your whitest white and your darkest dark, aka white and black, but you don't want your black to be muddy, and you don't want your white to be blown out. So with Kate, you have the house, the sky, her top, and her skin, obviously. And I don't want to blow any of those whites out. And I think the whitest white lies within her top. And so I was trying to be careful with my white, and I didn't take my blacks down. I brought them up instead to lift the shadows. And I go in my clarity just a little and actually dehaze the image -5. And that just kind of helps lift the overall image as well as like the shadows and such. I want it to be like really light. And then I go in and pump some contrast in to give it a little more punch and get some depth back in there. I bump my exposure up as well just to bring some more oomph to the image, to those whites overall. And some people might say that I blew out my whites a little, and that's fine, but like to each their own. I like it. So now I'm having to work on my colors, and I'm pumping in a little bit of vibrance and saturation in there, and I move down to my tone curve. And this is where you can make or break an image. A lot of people stay away from this, but I like to adjust it just a little. So I go in here and I save my whites, my highlights, by pulling this down a little, and you can see like when I move that light scale slider, those highlights can get crazy, and same with like your darks. But I just do minor adjustments there, and my shadows as well. It's still just very minor adjustments, and you can see those are my general adjustments right there, and it takes the image from before, after, and it's just really, I love it, honestly. But here's where we get into the color. I don't want them to be orange, but I don't want them to be ghost either. And you can tell in Drew's shirt, Kate has a lot of warmth going on, and Drew has potential to be warm as well, but his top, for some reason, pulled this purple undertone. So I have to go in there and fix this. But first, I'm going to go in and get their skin tones right. So Kate's a big blush girl, so we got to give her back her blush and her rosy cheeks and make sure that looks right. And even though it is fall vibes of winter outside, I still want this grass to look a certain way. So I go in there and I play with the yellows and the greens and the oranges, and those all affect it. And it's fall outside, so you can see I moved that green slider and it blew the greens out in the back, and I pulled it back down because you want a little punch but not much. The aqua doesn't really do much, and so I'm playing with that just a little. And I think in here with the blue is where you can really see what it does. There we go. So that moves Drew entirely. So I pump that up, I think. Yes, I pump it up just a little. And then saturation, same deal. I run through all my colors, and this is where you can give color or take away color. So with the purple, I wanted to absolutely like destroy any tones of purple in this image at all. Sometimes you have to be careful because people's skin can reflect purple, but in this case, neither of them really had a ton of purple in their skin. Drew had some purple in his hair, but mainly it was his jeans and his shirt that had purple in it. So I pulled that down completely. You guys can see what I'm doing there, but I'm just walking all through my purple. But I wanted his purple to go away. That way it pulled more just neutral. That way it blended with Kate's cream and brown better. And yeah, those are my saturation adjustments. Here the orange. Orange is where you really make or break your image. Some people desaturate their oranges, some people oversaturate their oranges. I try and find that nice midline to where my clients, or in this case my brother and Kate, are orange but not orange. Like the orange is their skin tone. So we go in there and you can see like that is their skin tone. That is what they look like. I don't want them to be like, oh, overdone in bronze, but I just don't want them pale either. And here's your luminance adjustment scale slider situation. Luminance in my brain, it just controls like the lightness of all the colors. Like it can really do a lot, but you got to be careful here. So my luminance, I really only typically adjust my reds, oranges, greens, blues most of the time, and they're all very small adjustments. If I do adjust anything crazy, it'll be my oranges and my blues, and that's where I might get wild at. But I'm gonna stop talking for a second so y'all can just kind of see me work. See, there are the blues. It gets crazy. Sometimes when you edit, you have to like take it to the extreme, reset it so that way you know, like, I don't know, just sometimes your eyes can get away from you. So you take it to those two extremes and be like, whoa, that's crazy. And then your eyes can readjust on what it naturally looks like. And you know the two variables that it could be. For for example, for shadows for your tint, thank God I did it. But you can see it goes green, purple, or that magenta and mint color. And you can just like, I don't know, reset it. And for me, when I reset mine after moving my shadows, the tint, I can see if it pulls green or if it's pulling purple or that magenta, and I know which way I want to take it. But anyways, y'all can just keep seeing me working. That's really it. People forget about like these colors down here. I don't know. I always adjust them. Some people don't touch half the colors I touch. Not that that is better or worse, but call me crazy. I feel like I gotta touch everything in the photo. I don't know. That's just the way I work. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, then heck, I don't know what to tell you. And this is, I think, the final product. Yeah, this is the final product. That was the original crop. Well, I guess here's the original crop. But yeah. And this is what I ended up cropping it to. I thought that was nice. It gave the notebook, the little house in the back. That's her mom's house in the back. Ah, so gorgeous. I was obsessed with it. Love.